Here I want to highlight a couple of different ways that we can work with the metadata panel. If you navigate to the library module, on the right you'll notice that we have a panel dedicated to metadata. Inside of this panel we'll find metadata which is descriptive, and also we'll find some areas where there's some fields where we can add metadata, or in other words where we can create additive metadata. Well, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to click on this pull down menu here. And as we do that, you'll notice there are a number of different options. We can view all the metadata, just the XF info, and in this case, again, it's just describing the metadata that comes from the camera, the type of lens that was used, the exposure, etc. We also have a new option inside of Lightroom 3, which is to show the EXIF and the IPTC info. Well, let's jump right down to the IPTC so that we can deconstruct what that is. Well, here you can see we can include some contact information, some content, a little bit about the image, and also status and copyright. And the great thing about this is that we simply need to click into one of these fields in order to add this information. For example, this photograph was captured in Santa Barbara. So I'll go ahead and click in that field for city, and I'll type out Santa Barbara. Next thing that I want to do is I decide that I want to add this city field to a couple of images. So I'll press enter or return to exit out of that field. I'll then select one or more files. To do that, hold down Command or Control and then click on multiple images. Now as I do that, I'm going to turn on auto sync. This will then give me the ability to synchronize the metadata across all three of these images. You notice that once I turn on auto sync, all of a sudden the city field is completely different. Rather than reading Santa Barbara, it gives me this message that it's mixed. In other words, that there are different cities for different images, or perhaps that some images don't have anything in that field. So in this case, this then tells me, okay, I have auto sync on, I'm working on multiple files. I'll now go ahead and just type out that word Santa Barbara once again. Now when I press enter or return, this is going to then give me a warning message. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to apply the metadata to all of these images? And yes, we do. So in this case, we'll click apply to selected. Now as we do that, we can then click through these different images here, and you'll see that all of these images have that particular field. Let's turn off auto sync for a moment and click off the images, and then click back on, just again so we can highlight and notice that they do indeed all have that metadata that we've added to those files. Now another option is to just view the metadata for the image which is targeted, and that warning dialog told us how to do that. If you just want to view the metadata for one file, the targeted image, when you have more than one selected, well then go to metadata and here just choose show metadata for target photo only. Alright, well, let's keep looking at this menu over here. The next option we have is IPTC extension, and this is a new feature inside of Lightroom 3, and this is focused in on those folks who are doing news or stock type of photography. And if we select this option, here we'll see that we have fields related to description, artworks, model, administration, rights, and a few other options as well. Moving our way through this menu, the next option we have is large caption. This is where we have a large area dedicated to a caption. And I'll go ahead and type out a caption here. Athlete doing a push-up. So in this case, you can see that you can change the way the metadata panel looks so that you can focus in on different tasks. We also have a couple others. We have one called location, which focuses in on some of these location attributes. And then we have another one, which is minimal, just showing us the bare bones. And then finally, quick describe, which gives us a bit of an overview snapshot of some of the different types of metadata that we can apply to our images.